There is nothing better than sitting on the couch, relaxing, and watching a good animated movie. Unless, as soon as you hit play, you realize that it actually wasn't exactly the movie you wanted to watch. This was definitely the exact case for a lot of people who rented the animated movie Izzy's Way Home, thinking they were going to watch Disney's Finding Dory. The animation is a bizarre ripoff, made by an American production company known for absurd low-budget movies. Seriously, the imitation is so shameless that even the logo for this C-list movie is practically identical to Disney's smash hit. Just look at this plot. The little fish, Izzy, is captured and separated from her dad, and the two desperately have to cross the ocean to reunite. The story is basically a poorly done copy and paste of Pixar classics, except with animation that looks like it was rendered on a computer from the 90s. Aside from the movie's cover being purposely and deceptively identical to Finding Dory's, the voice acting was cringeworthy, and the art was terrible. It was one of those absurd attempts to make a quick buck by tricking parents. We can say that this is a ripoff that is a true nightmare in the depths of the ocean. But what about when Disney is the one copying, instead of being the one copied? How do things play out? That was exactly what happened when, in 2017, the House of Mouse released Coco. Pixar even tried to sell the idea as something totally unique and original. But sharp-eyed fans didn't let it slide, and pointed out a massive similarity. It turns out that in 2014, that is 3 years earlier, Fox had already released The Book of Life, a wonderful CG animated musical that also takes place, guess what, exactly on the Day of the Dead. The animated movie was highly praised for its sensitivity, incredibly beautiful visual style, and flawless soundtrack. Of course, there's absolutely no problem with loving two stories inspired by the exact same culture, but ignoring the success and the pioneering nature of The Book of Life just because Disney decided to invest in the exact same theme is a huge injustice to this fantastic animation. If there's one thing we know, it's that Pixar's animation style is flawless and almost impossible to be copied. But even so, the production company thought they could try their luck and released Ratatouille, a knockoff of Ratatouille, so shameless that it borders on unbelievable. In the plot, instead of being in Paris, we follow the rat Marcel Twine, who is the owner of the hottest restaurant in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The big problem, besides the completely nonsensical story, is the visual quality. While the original movie makes our mouths water with hyper-realistic dishes, Ratatouille delivers stiff animation, terrifying textures, and backgrounds that look like they came straight out of an old video game. It's the classic case where they tried to ride the coattails of Pixar's success, but delivered a true culinary nightmare that brings a lot of laughs on the internet today.
Ratatouille.
Right after DreamWorks conquered the entire world with pose, martial arts, and flawless humor, it took almost no time at all for one of the most bizarre ripoffs of all time to emerge: The Heavyweight Bear.
This movie desperately tries to ride the wave of that wonderful Chinese universe's success, but it gets absolutely everything it tries to do completely wrong. In this parallel version, we follow a panda named, believe it or not, Pancada, who works cleaning up a boxing club, but who has the big and unusual dream of becoming a ballet dancer. Besides not making the slightest bit of sense, the character modeling is so stiff that they can barely even blink properly. It's a true masterclass on how not to make a movie, but it will definitely grab everyone's attention because of just how absurdly bad it is. Pixar had barely finished putting Lightning McQueen on the big screen, revolutionizing the way we see talking cars, and the knockoff market was already flooring the gas pedal to release the little cars. This parallel franchise went so far in its shamelessness that it managed to release no less than 8 movies, creating an entire universe of animated vehicles with faces that, to be honest, are a little bit scary because of how weird they are. In the story, we follow the adventures of Tawny, a little delivery car who dreams of being a great racing champion, just like his idol. The script is basically a low-budget recreation of the original movie, with races that have absolutely no sense of speed and bizarre dialogues. The funniest part is that a lot of people at the time bought the movie thinking it was Disney's real cars and ended up falling for this prank.
Now, if you made it this far, surely something in this video kept you hooked until now. So we certainly deserve your subscription.
If you think our list can't get any worse, hold on because there's still more. The movie Up made us cry in the first 10 minutes with one of the most beautiful and well-crafted stories in animation history about Carl and Ellie. Meanwhile, its knockoff, What's Up? Balloon to the Rescue, also makes us cry, but out of sheer despair. The story tries to trick the unsuspecting by showing a flying house held up by balloons on the cover. But you just have to hit play to find out that you've stepped into a completely nonsensical plot. Instead of a grumpy old man and a cute Boy Scout, the movie follows a crazy scientist, a bizarre red monster, and a plot that involves a glowing magic rock. Nothing connects with anything, and the quality of the three-dimensional models manages to be even worse than the previous ripoffs. It's so bad that it became a classic among obscure movie hunters. On our list of sinister Disney movie ripoffs, we also have Kiara the Brave. This is a movie that used one of the most deceptive marketing strategies out there. They simply took a redhead character who appears for a very short amount of time in the film and put her front and center on the cover, holding a bow and arrow. All of this just to trick fans who were dying to watch Pixar's smash hit Brave. But the big plot twist is that the original movie, which is actually called Super K, is an Indian animated film that has absolutely nothing to do with archers, bears, or Scotland. To tell you the truth, this so-called Kiara isn't even the protagonist of the story. It was a master trick of deception that left a lot of people angry at the time. But today, it makes for an excellent topic for us to discuss right here. You probably don't know this, but back in the 80s, The Land Before Time defined what an epic dinosaur movie was. Every single kid alive at the time had already watched this movie at least once. The success of the film about baby dinosaurs fighting for their lives was so massive that several sequels and even animated series of the franchise were created.
But in the year 2000, Disney decided to test out its own CG animation by releasing the movie Dinosaur. And the similarities did not go unnoticed. The formula is identical. We follow a long-necked dinosaur who gets separated from his family and has to travel with a group of friends in search of a green and safe valley, running away from relentless predators along the way. They copied it, they just didn't make it exactly the same. Despite the incredibly stunning visuals for the time, the plot of Dinosaur was generic and emotionless. Maybe if they had created a genuinely emotional story, nobody would waste time comparing the movie to the classic that inspired it all. In the early 2000s, animation was in a huge transition phase, mixing traditional two-dimensional drawings with 3D models. And it was exactly during this time that we had an intergalactic clash between Disney's Treasure Planet and Titan AE by the legendary Don Bluth. The coincidence is terrifying. Both movies are sci-fi adventures led by an angsty, rebellious teenager who possesses a super important map. These protagonists board spaceships with misfit crews, find a father figure, and have to deal with a mysterious traitor along the way. While Titan AE is much more mature and dark and focuses on the search for a new home for humanity, Disney made a much lighter adventure where the crew is just after riches. But we can't deny that the parallels between the characters are so blatant that fans to this day still argue over who copied who in space. In the 90s, Warner tried at all costs to create its very own magic formula, and the result was an animated movie called Quest for Camelot.
The problem is that they drank so heavily from the well of Disney's classic, The Sword in the Stone, that they almost drowned. Even though the core story is different, the movie tries desperately to imitate every successful detail from the House of Mouse. We have the animal sidekicks, a heroine singing on top of a cliff asking for adventures, and the iconic quest for a legendary sword stuck in a stone. Even though the script sounds like a forced ripoff, the original voice acting featured heavy-hitting Hollywood stars, and the soundtrack shined absurdly bright, even gaining popularity outside the movie. But it was definitely a Disney Xerox. Oh, it really was. When Disney released the epic Atlantis: The Lost Empire in 2001, a lot of people thought the story was incredible. But the hardcore otakus widened their eyes because the plot was bizarrely similar to Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, an anime created by the legendary Hayao Miyazaki in the 90s. The coincidences are jaw-dropping. In both stories, we follow a young, nerdy guy with glasses and a bow tie who sets off in a high-tech submarine with a crazy crew. Along the way, he falls in love with an exotic heroine who uses a magical pendant to merge with the energy of a lost civilization. If you put the characters side by side, even the supporting cast are practically perfect copies. Disney swears it was a coincidence, but many accuse the Mickey Mouse Studio of blatantly plagiarizing the Japanese master's genius work. So, what do you think?
Our list is over, but you don't have to leave. We've set aside 2 videos right here on the side for you to keep having fun. Pick one and let's go to the next one.